Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Hess Hogs. For today, we're gonna do a brisket. These are so much fun to do. They take a little time, okay? They take a lot of time to do, but if you've got the time to invest in it, it's totally worth it. This is part of our Christmas Cook series that we're doing. And just looking at this is a whole packer brisket. I picked this up at Schnucks actually. And the part we're going to dive into that's going to take some time that I'm not actually going to put on this video, it'll be a separate video, is just how to trim the brisket. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks for watching. Okay, thankfully through the miracle of time, we've been able to trim our whole packer brisket. So what we're going to do, now that we've got it trimmed, is we're going to season it. And today I'm going to use Cosmo's hot cow cover, and I'm going to use Cosmo's Texas beef. Good complementary rubs put on here. And I want to put a really liberal coat here on the beef. And this is called the meat side, right? If you're ever talking, this is the meat side, and the side that it's laying on is the fat side. This is your flat, this is your point. Burnt ends come from the point. We'll get into that a little bit more as the day progresses, but we want a good coat on here. I can't brag enough about this hot cow cover. I use this as much as I can when I'm doing beef. And from there, we're going to use our Texas beef. And when I put this on the smoker, we're actually going to put meat side down and fat side up. And the reason you do that is the fat will render out, and the fat is flavor. Other people like to put it meat side up, fat side down. It's whatever you choose to do. At the end of the day, it'll be done when it'll be done. So we've got this side seasoned pretty well. It looks pretty good. We're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same drill. I've got my smoker. I'm using lump charcoal as always from Blues Hog, and my smoker is going for a temperature of 250, and I'm using a hickory wood. One thing I really like when I'm using Blues Hog is to complement it with a hickory actual wood itself. I think it's just a good combination. Almost there. All right, we can get this packed on. And again, when we have this on the cooker, the fat side will be down, the point side will be towards, or the fat side will be up, excuse me. The point side will be towards the fire. The flat side will be away from the fire. So we're gonna massage this in there, make sure we get good. All right, that's looking pretty good. Okay guys, this is seasoned, it's trimmed, the smoker is ready. We'll take it out there in a minute. Thanks for watching. Okay guys, we are at 250 degrees, and we're going to set it out here on our smoker. And again, as we're putting it on the smoker, we want the point, the fattier side, towards our heat, and the flat away from our heat. Another thing to be mindful of is, as you place it in here where your smokestack is, that has extra heat, so just be careful of your piece right back here. You want to make sure blade or throughout there you do spray it. Enough talking, let's close it up. It'll be at least 6 hours before I open up for the first time. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Okay, we're right at our 5-hour mark, and we're going to open this up and we're going to spray it and just, oh, look at that. That is looking great. Temperature's holding steady right at 250. Probably got another 3 hours of letting it take on smoke. We'll check our temp, and most likely we're going to wrap it and finish it off that way. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, guys, we're right at our 8-hour mark. Let's open this up. That is looking great. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just see where we're at 161. And what we're gonna encounter, 162. All right, so what we're encountering is the stall, and what I'm gonna do, because it's taking enough smoke for my liking, is I'm gonna take this and put it over here, and we're gonna wrap it. And there's a lot of different things people have for this. We'll keep it simple. We're wrapping our brisket. What this will do is this will help keep it moist and kind of helps accelerate the cook just a little bit. Now, my best practice has always been I wrap it twice. Two things with foil, because it never fails. Somehow or another I may puncture a hole in it accidentally, and it just kind of slows it down. But we're going to go ahead and have it wrapped twice. Sorry for all the noise. And now that we got wrapped twice, we're going to keep the fat side, the point, still facing the fire, and then the flat facing away from the fire. And to save yourself some fuel, since smoke won't be going through this foil, I just stick with lump. I stop using the wood, and it saves you, about 3-4 hours worth of wood usage. This should probably take, with it wrapped, probably another 3 hours for the stall to complete. The temperature, if we're technically looking for a number, we're looking for right at 205, but honestly with the probe, when we put it in, if it goes in like butter, it's done. When it gets to that point, we'll take it off, take it inside, put it in the cooler for a couple hours, and it'll be time to eat. Thanks for watching. Okay, so it's been just over 3 hours, actually about 3 hours and 20 minutes. And we're going to probe in two things. If you're looking for a temperature, you're looking for 195 to 205, but the biggest thing I pay attention to is how easy does it go in. And if you look at that, just gonna poke a couple places, it's going in just like butter, and that's what you want. We're getting a good reading there. It's about 197. So what we do from here, when you pick it up, have the cotton gloves underneath, your nitrile gloves. We're going to pull this off. We're going to take it over here. And we're going to wrap it up in a towel. And after we wrap it up in the towel, we're going to put it in a cooler, and we're not going to look at this for the next at least hour. You could leave it in there for 5 hours if you so chose to. I'm just going to give it an hour. Leave it in there for an hour, let it rest, let it reabsorb all the juice and the goodness in there. Then it'll be time to cut into it, time to eat. Thanks for watching. Okay, a moment of truth. It's been resting for right at an hour and a half. We had it wrapped in foil, in a towel, in the cooler right there. Took it out. Just took it out of the foil, and I tell you, it smells great. And just to kind of recap what we did, we had a whole packer brisket I got from Snooks. We trimmed it, we seasoned it. We used Cosmo's hot cow cover, Cosmo's Texas beef for the seasoning. Great seasoning, great rub to use. We got our smoker up to 250 degrees. We used Blues Hog lump charcoal with Blues Hog hickory wood. We left it on the smoker for 8 hours. It took 8 hours to smoke. It absorbed it really well. After that, it was at 162 degrees. We pulled it, we wrapped it in double foil, heavy duty foil, and it took another 3 hours and 20 minutes at 250 degrees. It was temping correctly. It was at a 197 to 202 mark, and the more important thing was when we were probing it, it was going just like butter. From there, we brought it inside, we've let it rest, we've talked a lot. Now the fun part, we're going to cut into it. And again, you can see it's got a pretty good bark color, a little darker than I'd like it to be, but I'll get over that. We worked hard to form this bark, and I'm proud of how it looks. This is the point, this is the fattier side, right? And again, this is the flat. When we cut into this, we actually cut it a couple different ways. So we're gonna go ahead and cut in. And when you're cutting your brisket, you want really thin strips. You don't want thick strips. Small pencil is what I hear a lot of folks talk about. We're gonna cut a few strips here, and just to kind of see how it looks and do a couple things. When you're doing this, okay, so that looks wonderful. And you can kind of come close. You see we got a nice smoke ring there. You can see where the fat has rendered, which is really good. And it's a pull test, right? That shouldn't break apart when we do that, but when we pull it, like so, I'm gonna have a piece because, well, I get to have a piece. That is great. We're gonna slice a couple more pieces, and as you're slicing it, you want to keep it together. You don't want to lose any of the moisture. Man, that turned out. There's just a bigger piece. Again, that turned out really good. And what we're going to do is where the decal is at, right here, where we'd see kind of where our burnt ends are, that's the jiggle test, and it's very jiggly. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut right down here, just so we can cut and see the other part of our brisket. So, cut right like so. Man, that looks good. You want to get close and just see juice. It's just great. You just can't beat this. Time well spent. Now we're going to cut this in half. And what we're doing here, there's a couple things we achieve when we cut this in half. If you were wanting to do the burnt ends, this piece right here, you would just take this off like so, and then you would, oh, that looks good. You would do just little 1-inch squares, and you could do it just like they are. As you can see, that turned out pretty good. Or you could re-sauce these, put them back on the smoker just for a few minutes, whatever you choose to do. But this piece right here, this is the leanest piece because it had the fat over it. So this is going to be really your leanest cuts. And again, as we're looking at that, you can't go wrong with that. You know, it's a little bit thicker. They say little pencil, big pencil. Again, the pull test, it pulls right apart. I gotta quit eating this, I'm gonna get in trouble. Anyways, there you have it. I would call this a success. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it helped. If you get a chance, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, HessHogs4. We'll see you later on this week as we complete our Christmas Cook series, where we'll be doing a rack of lamb. Have a good night. Thanks again.